Imagine sitting quietly, eyes closed, with soft worship music flowing through your space. The noise of the outside world fades away, replaced by the gentle pull of peace and stillness. In that moment, you aren't saying prayers or memorizing scripture. You're simply there, open, waiting and listening. And this is Christian soaking, a practice where stillness meets surrender and the heart finds rest in the presence of God. Soaking is a form of spiritual meditation unique to modern Christian worship, though its roots are deeply tied to timeless traditions of contemplative prayer. The term might sound unusual, perhaps even foreign, but the simplicity of soaking is breathtakingly beautiful. It's not about doing more or proving yourself spiritually. Instead, soaking invites you to stop striving and just be. The practice has gained traction in recent years, particularly among those seeking deeper intimacy with God and a way to reconnect with Him beyond the busyness of routines, drawing from ideas in Psalms 46:10. Be still and know that I am God. Soaking emphasizes resting in God's presence rather than rushing to articulate every need or thought. It asks us to let down our guard, release distractions, and focus solely on encountering His Spirit. But how exactly does it work? The beauty of soaking lies in its simplicity. Often it begins with clearing a quiet space, whether it's a corner of your bedroom, a favorite spot in the living room, or a quiet nook in church. Some immerse themselves in worship music, often ambient or instrumental tunes that allow the soul to breathe deeply. The lyrics, if any, serve more to draw the heart toward God rather than to take center stage. Other times, soaking can happen in complete silence, where the absence of sound becomes an invitation to lean into God's voice. What sets soaking apart from other forms of prayer or meditation is its lack of agenda. There's no list of things to pray for, no timeline to stick to. Instead, soaking is about creating a space for God to move. Sometimes He brings comfort, other times He reveals truths, direction, or healing. And in some moments, He gives nothing more than His presence, enough to make the soul feel full and restored. It's a deeply personal practice, one that allows each follower of Christ to engage uniquely. Some may feel led to journal the thoughts and emotions that arise during soaking. Others might simply rest, allowing tears to fall or peace to settle in their hearts. It's not a chore. It's not about doing devotion correctly. It's about placing yourself before God until His love feels like waves washing over you, refreshing, restoring, and inevitably reshaping. Historically, Christian soaking finds echoes in the older traditions of contemplative prayer and monastic silence practiced by figures like Saint Teresa of Avila. These spiritual giants recognized the transformative power of quiet waiting with God. But soaking, as it's practiced today, often blends elements of modern worship and charismatic spirituality. It has gained popularity in churches tied to movements such as Bethel or IHOP, the International House of Prayer, where soaking is seen as a way to deepen worship services and personal encounters with God. Critics sometimes misunderstand soaking, seeing it as passive or unstructured. After all, isn't prayer meant to be interactive? Shouldn't we be asking for guidance or praying fervently for needs? But soaking doesn't replace these practices. Instead, it complements them. Just as a healthy relationship involves moments of silence, stillness, and shared presence, not just constant chatter, so does faith thrive when we make room for simply resting with God. The fruits of soaking speak for themselves. Those who practice it regularly describe feeling lighter, more centered, and closer to God. They witness breakthroughs in areas where they've long felt stuck, whether in their emotional health, clarity of purpose, or even physical healing. Yet the benefits aren't limited to dramatic moments. For many, soaking fosters a steady kind of transformation, one where trust deepens, love expands, and the soul grows more attuned to the rhythms of God. Perhaps the most challenging part of soaking is giving yourself permission to stop striving. The world around us tells us to do, to accomplish more, prove our worth, or stay busy with measurable results. But soaking teaches us a hard-won truth. God isn't impressed by our activities. He's moved by our hearts. And sometimes the most worshipful thing we can do is to simply be quiet in His presence, letting Him love us without hesitation or condition. Now, here's the question. Could soaking be for you? If your days are packed with chaos, commitments, and noise, this might just be the practice your soul longs for. A moment to breathe, to exhale everything weighing you down, and to inhale the freedom God offers. You don't need elaborate rituals or perfect timing. All you need is a willingness to pause and say, God, I'm here. So for anyone longing to experience God's love in a fresh and tangible way, why not give soaking a try? Set up a playlist of soft worship music or sit in silence. Let the presence of God envelop you. Whether you sense Him immediately or feel nothing at first, make soaking less about outcomes and more about creating space for Him. As the music fades and the silence grows deep, you'll remember that God is neither far away nor inattentive. He's right there, meeting you in the stillness, speaking to you through the quiet. Soaking is your invitation into that sacred space, a space where His love overflows, saturating every part of you. Will you step into it?